When you are gone, will anyone remember your story? Unknown. Flavor text of Tale's End. In January of 2009, the novel Agents of Artifice was released to the public. It marked the first major appearance of Jace Beleren in the magic story. The novel chronicled his experiences with the Interplanar Cabal, as well as his interactions with fellow planeswalkers Tezzeret, Baltrice, Nicol Bolas, and Liliana Vess. July of that same year saw the release of The Purifying Fire, a novel centered around Chandra Nolar, her conflict with the Order of Heliod, and her encounters with Gideon Jura. These were the first entries in a series of novels titled, funnily enough, a Planeswalker novel. Unlike most magic books released since the Brothers' War, these novels did not follow the story of, or tie into, any one set or plane. They were, as their names suggested, stories centered on a new set of planeswalkers. Just 2 years prior, the events of the Future Sight novel would bring an end to the epic, godlike planeswalkers fans had grown accustomed to. These novels would serve to introduce a new cast of characters that were, in theory, much more down-to-earth and easy to relate with, and plans were in the works for an entire series of them. The third entry in this series was titled The Curse of the Chainveil, and it seemed as though the novel would focus on Liliana Vess, her acquisition of the titular artifact, and her run-in with the barbarian planeswalker Garruk Wildspeaker. Slated for a February 2010 release, The Curse of the Chainveil was never released. Confusion took hold as, later that year, the novel Test of Metal saw print, with no word whatsoever on Liliana Vess's story. It's been over 10 years since the planned release of this novel, and still no word on it. Wizards of the Coast, it seems, never gave an official statement regarding whether or not the novel had been cancelled or just delayed indefinitely, and there seems to be no good reason for it to have been pulled. Details on the novel are slim, but there's a few things we do know for certain. In addition to cover art, the book was complete enough to receive an international standard book number, implying that it had, at the very least, been ready for print. In addition, we also have the following blurb. And you will know her by the trail of undead. Liliana has been running from her past for too long, but the ancient and powerful Chainveil seems to be the answer to all her problems. It will give her the power to get free from the demonic pact that drives her, even if it means killing every demon in the multiverse. As Liliana's enemies pile up, so do the complications. That cursed, barbarian planeswalker Garruk Wildspeaker has tagged her as his numinous quarry. The power of the Veil has drawn the unsavory attention of the dragon Nicol Bolas, and her old friend Jace Beleren is drawn into the middle. But as the Veil takes hold of her, it's hard to tell if those voices in her head are her own, or the eldritch spirits of the Veil. Now it's a race to see who can get to Liliana first. For Jace, a friend in need might be a friend best avoided, but when the stakes are this high, friendship may be the only thing he has left. So, it seemed as though the Curse of the Chainveil really would detail Liliana's acquisition of the artifact on Kothaped's orders, her battle with and cursing of Garruk, as well as tying it all together with her on/off lover, Jace. The events of the novel seem to have been set in stone enough that the World Wake Player's Guide even references it as if it had been released. The first 2 novels in the A Planeswalker novel series were fairly well received, all things considered, with only the later Test of Metal garnering significant hate. For good reason. It's possible that The Curse of the Chain Veil was shelved for having the same basic overall plot of The Hunter and the Veil, a 2008 webcomic detailing Liliana's journey to Chandalar for the Chain Veil, as well as her battle with Garrick. If that's the case, it's unfortunate, as the novel had the opportunity to cover much more ground than a brief webcomic, and could show more detail concerning not only Liliana's first use of the veil, but also how it slowly seemed to eat away at her over time. Since 2010, Liliana Vess has gone on to become a major character in Magic's story. She's been everything from a demon-hunting anti-villain, to the token evil teammate on the Gatewatch, to Bolus's pawn, to sultry professor. And in all those years, we never quite learned what events would have transpired during the Curse of the Chain Veil, and perhaps we never will. We can speculate for hours on what could have been. What do you think would have happened during the novel? What do you think caused its cancellation? Feel free to let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and sharing it with your friends. If you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, you'll be alerted whenever I upload new videos. Finally, if you wish to support me directly, there will be a link to my Patreon account below. Thank you very much, and have a great day.